So UFC 300 is tomorrow, and Izzy did an interview with Ariel Helwani, the worm of the UFC, and Izzy, the person who has a main character syndrome, who thinks that everything in the world revolves around him. So now we are going to react to the interview, and we are going to talk about some of the most outlandish, some of the weirdest excuse for the reason that he lost to Sean Strickland, some of the weirdest takes, like all the Aussie fans are racist. That's what he said. So now we are going to talk about this interview. Now, first of all, I will give description of who Izzy is, who is Ariel Hawani. Ariel Hawani is a worm in the shape of human because he has bitten the hand that feeded him, that feeds him. He is someone who has made a name of this sport, has made a name of UFC, and now he's trying to backstab someone like Dana White, talking shit about every decision that he made, and starting fights between fighters and Dana White, trying to remove all the superstars of the UFC and trying to lure them into some kind of boxing matches, because we know this worm of a human is a friend of some boxing people like Eddie Hearn and all that. So he wants to remove the best superstars that we have in the UFC in mixed martial arts. And don't get me wrong, like I like boxing. I really like boxing. But I like martial arts more. I like mixed martial arts more. And I want the superstar of mixed martial arts to not get knocked out, not get so hyped up by these stupid journalists who are just caring about how to get clicks. And they are sending the people from, even though they are not the people who are sending these huge superstars of martial arts world, they are the one who are convincing these superstars to take some boxing matches, like Ariel Hamani glazed France Ngannou, like you should take the boxing match. And that's why I call him a worm. And the second person we are going to talk about is, I do not hate Izzy. I think Izzy Adesanya is someone who is good. I think he has one of the good styles of fighting, and I really like his style. Not when he is comfortable, when his back is against the wall. I respect his knockouts, but some of the things that he says simply just I can't wrap my head around something that he said in this interview, and I can't sometimes understand him. Although I like his style, I like his fighting style, because if your back is against the wall and you are doing well in some fights, I really respect that. But what you are saying right now in this interview and what you have said in your previous delusional interviews, I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to like that. Even though I count you as one of the good kickboxers in the UFC, but I will always say you have to say sensible things too, a part of being good martial artist in real life, that you have to make sense of what you say, at least with all that CTE damage, at least make some sense in what you say. Okay, so now we are going to react to this interview where he said absolutely rubbish things. So let me play the interview.
But again, they're not built like us. Myself, Alex Volkanovski, Kamaru Usman, we were guys when we were champions. Just fuck it, just fight. Fuck the belt. I got belts at home. Even fans, whenever they see me now, they're like, oh man, I hope you get that belt back. I'm like, bitch, they're at the house. I'm a two-time middleweight champion.
They're not built like us. This is him saying that why the fight of Dricus Duplessis and Adesanya didn't happen in UFC 300, because he said that he was offered fight and he accepted, but Dricus Duplessis didn't accept. Why is it always easy that you want to fight Dricus Duplessis when he's not 100%? Why is it like that? Why do you want that specifically? Because in the first fight you wanted him to return After having his match with Robert Whittaker, you wanted to fight him in under 1 month, and now you're just saying that yeah, these fighters just are injured all the time. They're not like us. And now let us see who is he counting us as. You should not count yourself as in between Alex Volkanovski, maybe Kamaru Usman, but not Alex Volkanovski. Okay? And the reason why I say this, even though he's from the same gym as him, but Alex Volkanovski's era felt very different than yours. You had very good matches against Robert Whittaker, against Alex Pereira in the second mixed martial arts fight that you had with him. Those were very cool knockouts. But in between those knockouts, I have seen few matches of yours where you were just doing pitter patter shots, you're just trying to maintain distance, and you were just trying to win the fight by points. So don't say that, okay? Because Alex Volkanovski has never done that. Alex Volkanovski has continuously improved over his fights, although he was knocked out in his last fight, but he has shown improvements in his career, and not like you, okay? So every time Adesanya fights, I think his fights he gets better. I think in his fights he never gets better. He is all the same. The only time that Adesanya is good is when he is having his back up against the wall. That's what I gave it to him. That's where he's good at. Now we move on to another moment at 3 minutes 40 seconds.
And this fight happens. You don't get to decide. Did you see these comments? And
Nah, I don't really follow the guy. He follows
Okay.
me, but I'm like, I guess that's maybe him trying to. I think he's actually a fan. He just has to fight me, but he's actually a fan. He's a big fan.
a
I
fan of
respect.
yours.
Yeah, of course. I
Because
paved the way for him. Without me, one of the great African champions, he wouldn't be here. He's the fourth African champion in this game.
so
So
now
kudos to
he's
him. So we
accepting that
paved the way
Dricus
for him. So he's a
Duplessis
fan. He's a
is
fan of
a
what we do.
champion, is an African champion. Now he's accepting that. But earlier he said, no, you're not an African champion. Maybe he's getting some blowback from Africa, South Africa. Maybe he's getting something where the people are saying that no, this person, even though he's white, he stay in South Africa and he has a gym here, and like he does his thing here, and you are living in. He literally said in this interview that he's training, like he's having his fight camp or something like that in Switzerland. Wow, that's easy for you. A true African champion having all his training outside Africa. And here is Dricus Duplessis having all his fight camp in South Africa, which is Africa, of course. Okay, so we move on to another moment at, and this is the craziest moment, and this is the moment that just made me so worried for him, to be honest, because things that he's saying will come back to haunt him if he loses in that Perth card that UFC is targeting, that they want to fight.
Just
So we
you
move
have to
on
know when it's your moment,
here.
and you have to also be humble enough to know when it's someone else's moment. And that was his moment. The fight week, everything was just like lined up for him, and that was his moment.
were you shocked at the reception for him in Australia?
Nah, they're racist. Yeah.
That's what you felt it was.
Yeah, no, just also, I think it's just me and them.
They're racists. This is absolutely insane because they didn't like you because of some of the news that they saw on Twitter, some of the videos that they saw on YouTube, some of the things that you did in your life, some of the life choices that you made, and some of the choices that you were, like thought that it would be cool to upload it on YouTube. This is what you do. This is what you did, and that's why they hated you. They didn't hate you. And this is what I really don't like. This is a main character syndrome. Like, this person is thinking about himself too much. Like, he's taking himself too seriously. I don't know why, because he has been 2 times world champion. I don't know why he just takes himself so seriously that he thinks that the whole world revolves around him. I really like Adesanya when he has his back up against the wall. I really like that because that's when real Adesanya, real kickboxer Adesanya comes out, and I really like that. But the way that he's misguiding his fans into believing that Australians are Aussie crowd was against him because they're racist is absolutely insane. If Sean Strickland had done the same thing prior to that event, they would have booed Strickland. You were exposed for doing bad things. So how do you expect people to support you? And if they do not support you, they're racist. It's absolutely insane. Really don't want this person is someone who is coming back to fight Ricus Duplessis. I want someone who is humble enough to appreciate everyone, like Sean Strickland's win, appreciate why and accept, you made a mistake. It's okay. You can move on. Why are you holding yourself? I see some people who are just trying to hold on to some mistakes that they did, and they just, like, I did it, accept it. It's okay. You can move on, and we can like you because you are a very, very gifted in terms of your reach, in terms of the weight class, because you're not making these same things in the 205 pounds division. Even against Alex Pereira, let me say, Alex Pereira will knock you out in that division. But I would always say Adesanya is good when he has his back up against the wall. This Adesanya will always be a sore loser. And I really don't like to say that because I have respected his win, the way that he came back, like in the Alex Pereira fight. I'm not someone who is a hater of Adesanya. I'm not. Let me tell you. I am someone who really liked Adesanya when he came up. So that's it. I really want Adesanya to do well, and you should just keep on, like doing real things. You should talk about real things, and you should address it as accept your mistakes and just move on. We can like you again. But what you're doing right now, just having this main character syndrome, it's not going to help you. Not with UFC fans, of course. These mixed martial arts media journalists, they can, like hype. They can hype if they were in WWE media, or if they were in something else like in football or cricket or any other sports. Cricket is not even famous. Maybe my all of my you know viewers are from English speaking countries where like there's no cricket. Actually, cricket is an English game, but they don't watch it. The Americans, the French, uh, most of the comments are from those part of the world. So cricket is a game. That's what I'm saying. So you people think that this isn't the Adesanya which will improve himself. This is the Adesanya who is having the main character syndrome, and he is just thinking about himself too much. And when you do that, you're not going to improve yourself. You're just going to take, because this mentality is like he's saying that he's not being bothered about what everyone else is saying. I think he's clearly bothered in his mind. Whatever everyone's saying is clearly affecting him. That's what I can see from looking at him and looking at his body language. So I would really advise him to take these things less seriously and just move on and accept your mistakes, and just people will like you again because you have a very, very good kickboxing style. If your back is against the wall, not when you try to do this pitter patter 50-45 type of decisions where you just want to win the round, like against Jared Cannonier and also against Marin Vittori. I really don't like it. I hope you turn like you turned up against Alex Pereira. And who wants to see a good fight, against Ricus Duplessis and Adesanya? They can have a history together, and I really want to see that. But I would say that Sean Strickland deserves a rematch. I made a video about Sean Strickland should get a rematch, you know, earlier than him, because this person is a little bit delusional in his head. Maybe he needs a little bit of time to, just get a track of himself, apologize, and then move on. And then maybe someday he will fight for the title again. But he can have a history with DDP, and it will be a very good rivalry. So I hope I hope they make that fight in future, not now. I want DDP versus Sean Strickland now for the first, and then maybe Robert Whittaker gets his title shot, and then if Adesanya wins the next fight, he can have another title shot. That's it. He needs to have one more win. He needs to have one win because last fight he lost against Sean Strickland. That's what we do in this channel. We talk about martial arts, we talk about football, and you can sub to my Patreon. But like, I just want to improve the production quality. I don't have time. As you can see, I'm a doctor. I just like martial arts, and I really want to have friends from different part of the world, or not from different part of the world. Some friends, because I have no friends who watch martial arts. I want to have some friends who watch martial arts with me, watch UFC with me, because I have no friends who watch martial arts. I have no friends who watch UFC with in my real life. So I hope you really enjoy the video. I hope you like it. I hope you would share it. I hope you comment on it. I hope you give your opinions about the interview. I hope you give your opinions of how I talk, and I hope you give your opinions of how should I improve this channel, how should I improve my content. So if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.